Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever one happens to be for you. So the deed has been done. Frank's been sacked, and here's talk with me about it is Benji. How you doing, Benji?
I'm very good, Mia. How are you?
Yeah, I'm glad it's done. I'm actually a bit relieved that it was done in a way because I thought that it was about time. So, but
Yeah.
we'll get straight into talking about it. So,
Yeah, sounds good.
right. So, was it fair was Frank's sacking fair in your opinion?
See, it's a really difficult one for me because for the last few weeks I've been screaming for him to be sacked. Look, listen, I don't doubt Frank is a good manager. I think after Ange, he kind of ticked all the boxes for what we needed, but for whatever reason, it's just not worked out. And quite honestly, I feel like he was just out of his depth. A lot of people have said to me, "Oh, I feel like Frank's lost the dressing room." Can I be perfectly honest with you, mate? I don't think Frank ever really had the dressing room to begin with. So when you ask me, is it fair he's been sacked? Look, we're 15th in the table, despite our injuries, and they are bad, by the way. It's not like he's got a full squad to work with, but despite our injuries, a manager's job is to get the best out of the players that he possibly can. And if this is the best Frank can get, it's not good enough. So yeah, I think him being sacked was fair. I can't help but feel it's a bit unfortunate for him, but at the same time, it's on you. You got to motivate these players. You got to get the best out of them, and
Yeah.
Frank just hasn't done that this year.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree. I agree. I think that for me, in whatever job you're in, if you're in a job of management and you're paid to get the best out of the team and there's a target for you to get from this team and you don't achieve that target, then that's on you because you're getting paid the big bucks to be able to do that. And I just don't think Frank was ever the man. I've always said that from the get-go, that at Brentford, he was very comfy, very comfortable with what he was doing at Brentford. He never really pushed himself. And I think his personality doesn't suit Tottenham. I think you have to have a bit more of a bigger personality to be at a team like Tottenham. And he just doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. He's a very bland, he's a very, like the way he talks and what he says, he's very vanilla, I would say. And even in his interviews, you can tell he's a very vanilla kind of guy. And some of the stuff he said, I already said this before, but I don't think he helps himself with some of the comments that he made. He always was bigging up the other team. He was saying things like we played well when everybody knows we didn't play well. I think some of those comments really, really didn't help himself at all. And so I think that the sacking was more than fair. I would have done it a while ago, and a lot of fans were calling for it a while ago because I think we could all see the writing was on the wall with this one, if I'm honest.
no, that's a really interesting opinion. So just out of curiosity, then, so when he came in, did Frank tick any boxes for you at all?
No. No, I didn't
Really?
want Frank. Yeah, no, I didn't want Frank. I didn't want Frank, and I'm gonna be, and I'll be honest, and that was from the start. I'm not just revising history. If
No.
you go back, you'll see Frank wasn't for me because I felt that he hadn't pushed himself in his career enough. I just didn't think he had the personality, and I also warned at home you cannot be playing like Brentford because the fans will not put up with it, and I did specify that as well. And I think that's all come into fruition and has been shown so.
See, this is why, in a way, I feel bad for Frank because I look at exactly what you just said. He does still think he's in charge of Brentford, and this is where I think maybe him as a manager was, he's in a little bit of a transition stage because I think you very quickly need to realise you're not. I mean, I say this now; it's ironic because of where we are, but you're not managing a mid-table team. You're not managing a team that should be anywhere near relegation. There is way more expectation at Tottenham Hotspurs than there is a club like Brentford. But I'll say this: look, when I asked you, did he tick any boxes? Look, for me, after Ange, and you know my feelings on Ange, I like Ange, always have done. Um, but realistically, I think what fans wanted after him was a manager who is tactically astute, who is flexible and can improve players. Now, I think it's fair to say Ange was none of these things, and from the outside looking in, it looked like Frank was that man. So that's why I ask, did he tick any boxes? Because for me, those things I also felt we needed. He kind of did tick those boxes for me, but it just hasn't worked out. And as I said previously, he's just out of his depth. And it's. Let me ask you: do you feel bad for him at all, or is it simply just a
No.
case of get out my club? You're not good enough.
I don't really feel bad for managers because they get paid so much money. So listen, while they're going off in their really fancy car to go and eat some caviar, while I'm sitting here trying to make like as much money as possible to be able to feed my kids and put a roof over our heads, I don't really feel bad for managers. No.
Would you like to know? This was really interesting. I saw it yesterday. Do you know how much his bonuses were? Listen to this. He gets £1 million, just under, per win. So he's clearly broke.
Yeah, didn't get that.
Yeah, no, he didn't. And I think he gets about 250 to 300k per point.
Wow.
So just think, you could buy, not on top of his wages, you could also go and buy a set of houses, should you choose, if you win a game. It's
Yeah, that's
scary.
crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really feel bad for managers in that way. I never felt bad for any of our managers when they got sacked, if I'm honest. Maybe perhaps, even though we are going to talk about him later, Pochettino, because I know how much he loved the club, and I did feel a bit bad. And maybe Ange, because I thought it was undeserved once he'd won or something for him to be just yeeted out like that. I felt like that was a bit harsh, but I don't feel ultimately sorry for them, no, because they got loads of money and like that's what happens, isn't it? You get to go into a job for a few months and get paid absolute tons for what, like for being a manager at Tottenham. Do you know what I mean?
But,
So,
however, no, I get that. But to me and you, that money is incredible, of course. But I think to people like that, it must get to a point where the money is no longer that important because you've already
probably.
earned so much. So really and truly, I think, managers do it. There's got to be a large part of it where managers just do it for the love. And you've got to think, you go into a club
Yeah.
and you give everything you've got, and then to be sacked. I don't know. I suppose in some instances, I can feel sorry for them a little bit. But I get what you're saying. Look, they get loads of money. Shut up and get on with it. Fine. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, maybe on a level of a human level, obviously it's not very nice being sacked from any job. Like I will give him that. Like it's not nice. So, but ultimately, yeah, I'm not really like, I don't know. Like I don't really get attached to managers, players in that kind of real sentimental like way. Like I'm not really sentimental like that about them. I'm a bit like, thank you, next. Like that's.
No, I don't believe that. I do not tell me you feel like that with Ange Postecoglou because I know you love that
No,
guy.
I
Don't
didn't.
you?
I loved Ange, and like I just said, like I feel like it was harsh. It was harsh, and I didn't want him to go. But I also know that I've got no say in that. So what I can't control, I can't worry about.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I understand that. That's yeah,
I
fair
say
play.
I can't control it, so I can't worry about that, can I? The next thing we are going to talk about is there's been a lot of rumours coming out about Frank. So we don't know, obviously, we're going to take it all with a pinch of salt, but I thought we'd discuss it anyhow. There's been rumours that he spoke a lot about Arsenal, which actually got the players' backs up a little bit. That there was quite a lot of memes going around that obviously the players didn't really respect him in that way. I think that probably like you said, I don't know if he really had the respect from the get-go with his personality. So, what's your thoughts about these rumours that are obviously swirling around about Frank and his obviously behaviour, what he actually did behind the scenes?
I mean, like you mentioned a moment ago. I mean, look, I think we're both smart enough to know these sorts of rumours are usually rubbish. But if there is truth to them, I mean, look, listen. As a Spurs fan, I shouldn't say this, but Arsenal are a fantastic model to work off of. They brought in a manager. The board have backed him, and he's gone strength to strength. All right, he's not won anything since that FA Cup, fine, but I think what they've done is shown loyalty to a manager. They've backed him. They've built, and now they're sitting pretty on the Premier League table, and they're also sitting pretty on the Champions League table. So I don't necessarily, again, if this is true, I don't necessarily blame him for using them as the model. But I think when you're discussing a rival club constantly and comparing, I could see how that could cause a problem. I mean, I think the problem with that, and this goes back to different types of managers. So look at Ange. Ange's focus was us. the team are going to worry, the opposition team are going to worry about us. And I think the way Frank does it is we're going to set up to nullify the opposition. So we're going to care more about what they do than what we do. So it kind of rolls back to that. I think sometimes when you've got a manager who is more, let's worry about what the opposition team do, I think in that situation, that can become it can get quite stagnant and quite frustrating for the players, because at some point you need to be like, right, this is us, this is what we're going to do, So, look, if these rumours are true, all I will say is I could see how it get frustrating after a while if he continuously sort of kept using that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that knowing that they are doing well and they're known as your rivals, it's never going to go down well, is it? It's all going to go, always going to be a bit kind of like, hold up a minute, mate, what are you doing? And if you've already not got that credit in the bank for being a bit like, you have to respect me kind of manager, I think that obviously that just adds to the sort of disrespect. Apparently Romero and some others turned up late after the Arsenal game, I think, because they were a bit peed off about it. So I don't think that's good either. Like, I don't like player power. I have never liked player power. It doesn't matter who you are in the club. I do not like it. And I think that you've got to be a manager to demand that does not happen with the players. That you've got to have that sort of respect from them, and I just don't think Frank ever had that respect from them. I think he was basically like a year 7. If you're in the UK, we know what that is. A year 7 saying to a year 11, give me your money. Like, they're going to just pinch him, like flick him on the head and be like, go on your way, boy. Like, what are you doing? Do you know what I'm saying?
To be fair, I don't know if you've seen the same clip, but I have seen like a sneak peek behind the scenes dressing room. I think it was one of the games in pre-season, and I won't lie to you, although I don't necessarily agree with the way people come across when it comes to this, I will admit he wasn't all inspiring in the dressing room. I mean, he's got that very sort of light tone. No, boys, don't forget second ball. It's not really, it's not someone you think, yeah.
No, it doesn't get the blood flowing, you know what I mean? Like, pumped and feel like, yeah, come on, boys. Like, imagine if he had to give the speech for the Europa League final. I can't imagine. He'd be like, well, we might win, we might lose. I don't know.
Be okay. Yeah.
That's not inspiring. Like, Ange was like, inspired them. He took them down the, he said he took them, we'll talk about the overlapping in a minute, but he took them where there was pictures of the players and said, see all them, they're in black and white. Make it so it's your face put on them pictures. So it's you that's holding up the cup. That's inspiring, isn't it? Because you're like, yeah, man, I want to be on that wall. I want to be on that winner's wall,
To be fair, I think it's hard to compare Ange with anyone else, because from what we understand, his team talks are legendary. I mean, you've seen a few of them when he was in charge of the Socceroos. Like, he's the sort of guy that could make people go to war for him, and I think that's 100%. Why the players loved him. So yeah, it's hard to compare to someone like that, but yeah, Frank certainly doesn't exactly inspire that.
Even if we compare him to Jose or Conte, again, I know it's hard to compare him, but if you look at the previous managers that we've had, we've always had someone with a bit more of a oomph about them, Nuno didn't have that oomph and he didn't last. Thomas Frank hasn't got that oomph and he didn't last. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even if you go back to Redknapp, he was like, all right, guys, get it done, boys. You can do it, lads.
Like, they all had something about them, didn't they?
Yeah, no, definitely. They had that something about them, which I just never really thought with Frank. And I just think that didn't really go down too well with players because, like I say, it's like watching paint dry. Like, I can't imagine him being really, like, inspiring in the changing
firing
room.
them up. Yeah, for sure. No, I get it. But do you know what? I felt like we knew what we were getting anyway, because I mean, there are plenty of managers out there that aren't all inspiring. There are some managers. I mean, Nagelsmann's another one who's very detail orientated, and I feel like Frank is one of those. But I get what you're saying.
Nagelsmann, I think that he comes across like he's got something about him. Like, he wouldn't, I don't know, like, he feels like you don't want to be told off by him because you're a bit like, he's someone who might be a little bit scared of in a way. Like, he's a bit, not scary, but you get what I'm saying. Like, but Frank hasn't got any of that aura about him. Like, he looks like he just every night folds up his pants, his Y fronts, and folds them up. Like, I can't explain it.
Hold on. Are we judging people off the tone of their voice here?
No, because it's body language. Body language is very important in life. Like when you talk to somebody, the way they come across and their body language tells you a lot about them. And his body language is very meek kind of body language.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah,
think
I'm with you.
that's what's actually important. It's not necessarily how they speak.
What are you trying to say to me? You need that big balls aura, is what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah, I want someone
Right,
who's going
okay.
to come in and do what Ange did and say, I will win you a trophy. Like, this is the big team. You are a big enough team to win stuff. You are a big enough team to want to be up in those conversations where you are winning things. Like, I know it sounds stupid and people say, oh, it's just what fans want to hear. It's lip service. But sometimes I think fans and players need that. Like, you need, because if you're being told at the beginning of the season, you're going to lose games, you're going to be bad in games, that doesn't really make players think much of you, because you're going to be like, like,
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, do you know what? I mean, that was one of the first things he said. I can guarantee you we're going to lose games. Yeah.
we're going to lose games and
Yeah,
we're
it's
going
not
to
great, is
win
it?
games. And they're like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's just,
not all inspiring, is it, to be fair? No, I get it.
No,
I get it. At first,
not
I
at
didn't
all.
quite see what people meant when they said that, but I suppose it is a bigger issue than perhaps I first thought, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think so personally.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, you could be
I'm not
right.
saying
You
that
could be
I'm
right.
not saying that these big personalities always work. That's not what I'm saying, but I do think you have to have a personality. I think that's probably quite important when you're trying to motivate a team of footballers who have got big egos and want to win games. There's a lot of testosterone going around, and if you've not got that matching energy, I just don't know if it really works.
That does make sense. I never used to think it did, but no. So what you're saying is Thomas Frank wasn't a strong leader. He might have been a
No,
good one, but not a strong leader. No, I get that. And again, people respond to things differently, don't they? So
they do. They do
I can
indeed.
understand that. I think, and again, you've got to think that these guys are coming off the back of having someone like Ange Postecoglou as their
Yeah.
capitan. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I suppose going from Ange to Frank is, significantly different, isn't it? So,
And also, when you look how many people come out when Ange left and how many have actually come out so far for Frank, it's not exactly been a floodload of people that have come out. And you've got to understand that these players saw somebody who won them something get X'd out and gone to bring you in this guy. And you're like, okay, this isn't, it's a bit of a step down, not even really a sidestep. But
I mean, you are absolutely right. I mean, if you think about it, when I suppose if you look at it from the player's perspective, you got to think, we've just lost our manager who won us a trophy. You've got to sit and think to yourself, these players are going to need a big personality to come in and really sort of do the business. And you are right, bringing in someone like Frank, who's small and timid, I suppose, like we said earlier, isn't really all inspiring. So, yeah, I can get on board with that. I think it's a fair analysis.
Right. Well, we're going to move on now from Frank, because I think everyone's probably done this to death now. We've spoken about him and everything else. So I think they can put a line in the sand on that one and say, for managers that didn't work out, he's on that list. Probably one of the worst managers we've had, along with Santini. I'd say probably that he was pretty awful. So yeah, we'll put him on that kind of list.
Didn't Santini win us a trophy? No.
It was
Ramos.
Ramos.
No.
Yeah, it was Ramos. Ramos won it, because it was a year that my eldest, I was pregnant with him when we won that. I didn't know I was pregnant at the time. When we played against Chelsea, I went to the pub with my brother.
What a good omen to have a kid with. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Spurs won the trophy that year.
Do you know what's even funnier? My second child, I've said this already, but my second child was born in 2009, and we only lost by penalties against Man United that year. So we would have had 2 years of me having children and winning something.
Mia, you need to start having more kids, sweetheart. Okay, you need to start pumping them buggers out.
I'm done. I'm way too old now. I'm done.
Not my problem. You need to start pumping out them kids, girl.
No.
Good Lord.
I'm all good. Although we didn't win for 17 years, my lucky number's 17. And I was born
Me too. Is it really?
Yeah, I was born on the 17th, so my lucky number's 17.
And your Romero's number 17 as well.
And my Romero is a number 17 indeed, yeah. And my brother's lucky number's 13, and he plays 13 for Argentina.
Hey, be quiet. My brother's lucky number is 13. Are you shitting me?
I'm not.
That's just
Because
freaky.
he was born on the 13th, so he's lucky numbers 13.
Same as that for no.
And Joe, what even more freaky? My eldest son was born on my birthday, so he's the 17th as well. So we had 17 years of not winning, 17 years he was going to be, and we won the trophy.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird coincidence.
And the
isn't
last
it?
time we won the trophy, obviously, was when I was pregnant with him.
And you definitely don't want any more children, because it seems to be every time you do.
No.
Our luck may be joined with your pregnancy, so maybe I'm just saying,
No, absolutely bloody not. I couldn't go through all that again. Now they're big boys. I don't want no more. They're older, independent, no more poopy nappies, sleep nights. Done with all that. Done with that business.
You heard it here first, people. She doesn't want us to win any more trophies. Okay, unbelievable.
Yeah, and we won in '82 when I was born as well. Just saying.
Jesus, you're like some sort of Tottenham Messiah.
Yeah, well, we were founded in 1882, so it was exactly 100 years after I was born. That we were I was born 100 years later, exactly.
Yeah, that is a bit.
And it's not actually far off because it was a September and I was born in October. So.
Yeah, that's ominous, that, isn't it? It's a little bit weird, that. Holy.
Yeah, holy. I was born to support Tottenham.
You were, unfortunately for you. You were indeed.
It's a bit of a curse. It's a bit of a curse, I'm not going to lie. A blessing and a curse.
Have you made your son support Tottenham out of curiosity?
Yes. Yeah. They have to support Tottenham or nobody. I don't have this in my house. You pick what you. No. You don't pick.
You will take what you are given. Yeah.
That's right. I don't have any of that nonsense around here. When my younger one, he messages me or he says, "Oh, Mum, I looked at the score and we lost again." I'm like, "I know, darling. I'm sorry."
I'm so sorry. I do the same thing with my boy. Me and my son watch games together, and I think I apologise to him at least 2 or 3 times a game. It's a hard thing making a child.
But then saying that, my nephew, because he supports Tottenham as well, because me and my brothers who support Tottenham, we took him to the game when we was in the final at the Tottenham Stadium, and my son messaged me and said, "We done it, Mum. We won." So he was all happy then. So he got some happiness.
Oh God.
So now we've underlined the whole Frank thing. That can be put away. Not going to talk about him any longer. What should happen next for you? Should we get an interim manager or should we get a permanent manager? What would you say we should do next?
Oh, this one's nice and easy. For me, interim manager. I'd probably go with someone like a Redknapp just to the end of the season. Even though I do like Redknapp and wouldn't want to kill him because he's 78 years of age now, but it's still a possibility. Interim till the end of the season, and then there's only one man you can go and get. There's only one man, and that is Mauricio Pochettino at the end of the season, 100%.
I'm not for that. As everyone well knows, we're going to have this. We're going to have this again. I'm going to keep having this conversation with everybody, but it's not for me. I don't think that sometimes it has worked out, but then people always bring up the ones that have worked, but there's probably plenty of examples where it has not worked. I think everybody assumes it's going to be the same. And plus, he does not take cups seriously. For me, the building the platform to start winning stuff comes from winning a cup. That's exactly what other managers do, and I think that should be taken completely seriously. That we should be I'm not saying we can win them, but to compete properly in cups, I think is so important. I want more winning. I want us to win. And the only opportunity we're going to have to win is if we try and go far as possible in those competitions. And we just didn't with him. In the past, he did not take them seriously. He played Sonny as left back. Do you know what I mean? Left wing back when we were playing against, I think it was Chelsea was playing against, I think it was. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like, what are we doing? He does not take these seriously. And I don't want that. I want someone who's going to take cups seriously.
This is where you and me are going to fall out big time. Right, okay, fine. So let's have a look here. So you're talking about an era when one man had got us to a point where we were challenging for the Premier League title and the Champions League. Hold on. Yeah, but listen, if someone is backed properly, that challenging turns into winning something. Now, hear me out a second. If you are there or thereabouts, eventually something's gonna click. Something will click. Look at Arteta, right? Now, I know we're not quite at the end of the season yet, but Arteta has been there and thereabouts for a good few years now, okay? But the difference between a Poch and an Arteta is Arteta's been backed. He's been given £100 million
And what
players.
if they don't win it?
No, but I can't. Can you honestly see that not happening at this point?
I mean, well, at this point, they're only, if they don't win their next game, the points go between them and City are getting closer. So,
all right, but look, let's go back to Poch. So you said about taking cups seriously, right? This is the way I view that, and what you said, I can understand to a point, but at that stage, at that period in time, we were focusing on the big boy things, and you say not taking cups seriously. But doing that, focusing on the big boy cups, which I think we had every right to do at the time, what does that do for the smaller cups? I mean, I shouldn't say this because the FA Cup is a massive cup and a historic trophy, but it's died down over the years. Look, by not taking the FA Cup and the Carling Cup or whatever the hell it was called at the time, I can't even remember, by not taking them seriously, what are you doing by doing that? You are allowing the kids to come through and take part in these sorts of games. And you've got to think, and this is why Poch was so great with the youth, by the way, you've got to think, if you are at an academy at Tottenham Hotspur, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get to play Carling Cup and FA Cup matches under this manager. That's huge. So not only are you focusing on the two most important trophies, but you're also giving the rest of the squad a chance to feel good about themselves.
How many of the youth did he actually play, though, in those cups?
I mean, to be fair to him, he was using the likes of, I know you got to think at the time they were youth players, you know, Mason, Winks, who's that guy we sold to Leicester?
Skip.
Future captain, Skip. Thank you, Skip. There were a few that he was using. So I hear you, but personally, I don't think there is anything wrong with having your sights set higher, because it's just something I don't think is a bad thing.
That's why he is somebody who never won at our club, because what he tried to do, he dismissed those cups without thinking that when you get to that stage and in a say a league where you've got to get it over the line, if you haven't built that winning mentality into your players to be able to know how to get it over the line, then you're not going to be able to get it over the line, because you have to have that know-how. You've got to have that know-how in you to inspire to be able to get your players over the line. And if you win cups, that does it both. It gets the players and yourself over that line. And he never got us over that line. I want to win stuff. I don't just want to just win the Premier League, because that's very unlikely, or the Champions League, that's very unlikely. That was the first time we've been in the final of a Champions League in our lifetime, right? Ever, right? So that just shows you how difficult it is to do that. So for me, I feel like actually the cups are important, because what do people look at the end of the day? Do they look at you came second, or do they look at the trophy total? They look at your trophy total, man. We were the ones that were winning the cups, like that was our thing. Cups. We've never been a league winning team. We won it once. So it's not like we actually ever really did that. We were always for the cups, and that's what's important, is winning. Winning something is important.
Fine. Do you want to be considered an elite level club? Do you want to be up there with the big boys?
I don't know in what sense, because I think if you win stuff, you are elite because you win. That's what makes players come, because they want to win. They want to win. And if you build that platform to start winning, then you can maybe push on to that next level. But you've got to have that winning thing to get those players. And what do? You win the cups. Look, I'm sorry, but if it's good enough for Jose, it's good enough for Pep, it was good enough for Klopp, right? He was in a lot of funds, I know, before he won anything. But if it's good enough for him, why is it not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur, man?
Let me ask you a question. Would you take 10th every season in a Carling Cup? Carabao Cup?
How many Carabao Cups? How many years? Depends.
For the next 5 years, would you take 10th and a Carabao Cup every year for the next 5 years?
Yes. Because that's winning. Winning is winning. Winning's winning, man. If we got
Winning
more
is winning, but you're taking the easy route. I mean,
it's not the easy route though, because winning is the hardest thing to do. That's why not all managers can do it, because winning actually is the hardest thing to be able to do. To get it over that line, to be able to do that is hard.
Yeah, but you're picking a cup that is statistically the easiest domestic cup to win, because most big teams don't take it that serious.
But it doesn't matter if it's the easiest to win. If we listen, right, even if we had 10 years of being 10th and we won 3 Carling Cups and a FA Cup, yeah, man, because we've won something.
So you feel like Poch was wrong for focusing on the Premier League and the Champions?
Yeah. I think that he was wrong to dismiss and say that the cups build egos. Cups do not build egos. They actually build a team of winners. That's what it builds. It's a winning thing. Like I say, if it was good enough for Jose, good enough for Pep, good enough for Klopp, why is it not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur and Pochettino? Like, I don't get it.
You are talking about managers that were elite level clubs and didn't find winning these clubs that difficult to do.
But Jose's done it everywhere he's gone, apart from Tottenham.
Yeah. I'm not even going to get on that.
And well, the thing is, he obviously had the opportunity, but was sacked before. But he's the one who got us through. He got us. That was like the other Cup one final that we actually got to. So
all I am simply saying is, I feel like Pochettino tried to put us on a higher plane. And you know what? I've got no problem with it personally.
I love Poch, yeah, for what he gave us. I do like Poch, and people always get it misconstrued when I say things like this, because he's definitely up there with, I like Redknapp first, he's my favourite. Him, like Poch and Joel, I loved. So I definitely love them as managers, yeah. And I definitely see him as somebody who I enjoyed when he was here. But he didn't win us anything. And if Arteta does the same, he's also getting sacked, because you cannot not win stuff. You have to win. The game is about winning. It's about winning stuff. It isn't about being second and we competed. It's about winning it. You've got to win. That's the whole point.
I'm going to ask, so is this the Pochettino segment, or is there one coming up?
No, this is the Pochettino.
Right,
this is like what will happen next. We can talk about Poch, whatever.
Okay, great. No, that's fantastic, because we're about to get into Poch. Right, look. So let me ask you the question outright before I say any of this. Would you have Pochettino back right now?
No.
I can't. Okay.
No.
Okay.
And I know people are going to, like I say, people obviously going to have a different opinion on that one. Would I? Okay. If the other day we was asked on another show, would I have Eddie Howe over Poch? And I said yes.
I'm not coming on the show again, Mia. This is a disgrace. Right, look, okay, I can't. Okay.
And you know, right, so my reasoning is, in case anybody didn't see it, was that when we had Pochettino, he got us into the Champions League. Eddie Howe got them into the Champions League, right? I know he's had money, but all the players they picked, actually, we wanted them too. So they're not actually mega players out of sight, right? And he also won them something. Pochettino never won us anything.
Oh, that's below the belt. Oh, Mia.
It's true.
Oh, I'm so disappointed. Okay, fine. Look.
It's true, though.
Just look at what Pochettino is. If we're talking about bringing him back, right? Any fan that says to me, no, listen, the guy is not an ex-girlfriend, okay? Or an boyfriend. Look, you've got to think, what is this guy going to bring? So as soon as he comes back, what's the one thing this club has zero of right now? Unity. The fans and the club are so divided, it's not even funny. So as soon as Pochettino comes back, he will get that togetherness back in. And the thing, what that's going to do is that will leak onto the pitch. That will help these players. And don't get me wrong, look, these players have got to show something for us to cheer. And whenever they do, the stadium erupts. It's brilliant. But that's the first thing Pochettino would do. Now, what else does he bring? He brings two game plans. One is high intensity, high pressing, and game plan B is counter-attack. And he did both fantastically well, I might add. The team that he inherited the first time round, it wasn't great. People weren't shouting from the rooftops.
Agreed.
Pochettino made players like Dele Alli, made players like Cole Palmer. He was the reason why, Cole Palmer. Yeah. I know we tried to forget that he was at Chelsea. I get it. I know. But listen, he wanted to come back to Tottenham at the time. We went a different avenue. So I'm not going to blame him for that. But,
we went down an avenue that won us something. I just had.
Okay, that's fine. But he ain't no Pochettino. Look,
No, he's not.
That's fine. So not only is he bringing the unity back, not only is he good at building teams, and because Walker, Rose, they weren't anything special. Look what he turned them into.
Yeah, I
But
do agree with you.
Pochettino, this is what I'm saying. Pochettino built that team, and Pochettino improved players, and above all else, he loves this club like you do and like I do. He is one of us. He gets what it means to be at Tottenham. And that is something I cannot say for a majority of the managers that have been at Spurs. For the likes of like Yole and Redknapp, fine. But so when people say, "Oh no, don't go backwards," why? In what way does it not make sense? In what way does he not fit? Don't get me wrong. Like, but before I shut up, I just want to say this. I am aware we're not going to fix the problems at Spurs by bringing in a manager. You know this. I know this. Our problems run way deeper. But I think Pochettino, at the very least, would fix what we see on the pitch, despite the fact that, we don't invest in the correct players, so on and so forth. I just feel like he'd fix a lot of our problems.
Right. I do kind of get where you're coming from, but a lot of that is feelings. It's because
it's not. It's fact.
Hold on, you just chatted for ages, yeah.
Sorry.
Listen, a lot of it is based on feelings because you're saying it brings unity. It's so nice. We're going to be unified, right? All of that nonsense, yeah. The feels, right? But that's not what wins you stuff. Like it's more about. We want to have on the pitch, I think, if you bring a manager in that plays good football, I think that unity will come because I think that the fans will be on board, the manager will get the fans on board and the players on board. So I think that any good manager who comes in, who's got a good personality, can do that. This is more to do with what the fans, this is lip service and heart service for the fans more than it actually is a sensible suggestion or, I think, sensible thing to do. That is my opinion, and of course, everyone's okay to disagree. In the comments after, you are more than welcome to disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. And it's not because, again, I don't like Pochettino. I really do like Pochettino, and I really do think he gave us such fantastic feelings and times at that time. But I'm done with that. I'm over that. I want to move further forward. I don't want to go backwards. Like, I don't want to go backwards in our managerial process, if you like. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, I'm not coming from a place of dislike for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think that it's not a good thing to do. However, if it will stop fans keep doing this every single time we don't have a manager, every time a manager's obviously going a bit wobbly and everyone keeps singing Pochettino's name, then so be it. Because if this gets us over our ex one last time, we have one last time with them, then we remember why we didn't like them in the first place. Cool. And I think we are going to end up doing that. And I will support him. If he comes in, I will support him, right? I will not support him because I support every manager that comes in up to a point where I think it's untenable. No, it's untenable. And I will say, I just don't think it's working. And I did that with Frank. I did do that with Frank. And I didn't do it with Poch, with Postecoglou, sorry, because I felt because he won us something, that was a slightly different situation. But yeah, I do think that at the end of the day, it's not going to be the correct decision for the club. It might be the correct decision for the fans.
All I'm going to say is this: Pochettino wasn't an ex-girlfriend; he was an ex-wife, and we divorced him wrongly. Okay, we drew up them papers and we divorced him. When time, think of it like this: when times got tough under Pochettino, did we back him? No.
He had options to buy players and he chose not to.
I don't believe that.
I believe that it's come out, and that's the truth. That is 100% the truth, man.
We didn't spend money for 2 years. Pochettino was famous for one thing, having a starting 11. Under Pochettino, we had no squad depth. It was like one of our biggest things, which is why I say he wasn't backed. I mean, I hear people saying, he didn't want players. Has it ever occurred to people that maybe, and we know how Daniel Levy used to operate, has it ever occurred to people that the players that Levy might have offered Pochettino just wasn't good enough?
He offered him Tillemans.
Do you know what, right? I'm going to cast people's minds back. At the time, I think we were above Tielemans. It just so happens to turn out that he turned into a good player. Fine. But at the time, I don't think Tielemans was our level.
But do you not think that maybe meant that Pochettino didn't have good eye to think, actually, I can improve this player, and it's better than not having any players?
I mean, look,
isn't that what we're slagging off Thomas Frank for doing the exact same thing, saying that he doesn't want certain players because he thinks he only wants he wants his first choice, and we slagged him off for it. So Pochettino, keep the same energy.
No, show me a world-class manager that hasn't got something like that wrong once in his career.
You know, of course he gets things wrong. I'm not trying to say he doesn't, but you're trying to deny that fact. So he did get it wrong, and that was to his detriment.
We're not stopping this video until you say you desperately want Pochettino back. So we're going to carry this on for the next 5-6 hours.
I haven't got 2 days, 3 days. I've got kids to feed, dogs to look after. I've got stuff to do, man.
That's not my problem, I'm afraid. So we may as well get on with it. Now, look, I hear what you're saying. And you're not the only one with that opinion. I get it. It's logical. When I look at Poch and what he brings, what he will bring, I don't see that.
It's feelings.
I don't think that is. I think it's tangible evidence.
But you're saying what I'm saying is logical, because I don't think with what my heart's telling me to think. I'm thinking with my brains and thinking, actually, this isn't a sensible, logical thing to do. It's all about feelings. Friend, Pochettino friend. And again, if you know that reference, you know it.
I do.
That's the thing. I just think everybody's doing this on feelings and not actually look at all the things that he did that weren't right. And people are forgetting all those things. He didn't win an away game for that last part when we went after the Champions League. He didn't win an away game. When he said that cups build egos, the thing he was flirting when it came to other teams wanting him, I'll leave if I win this cup. All the things that he said and done, man, that weren't really great, people were forgetting because they love him so much. And I understand it. But we all fall in love with somebody and then we fall out of love with them and they get on with their lives, and so should you.
I don't think anyone ever fell out of love with Poch, I'm going to be honest with you. All I'm simply trying to get across is this. Can you give me 2 logical reasons as to why Poch wouldn't be the right man to bring in? Just 2.
Right, my 2 logical reasons are: 1, he's not a winner. He hasn't won at us. He won when he won at PSG, which was the easiest thing to do ever, and he still didn't win in the first year anyhow. And I just think that we need somebody who's got that mentality to get it over the line, and I just don't think he has that, especially when he says things like cups build egos and that we should be going for the Premier League and the Champions League.
But he did win.
But he won somewhere where I could go and win.
But he did win.
But I could win there. It's a bit like what people said about Postecoglou at Celtic. Everybody wins at Celtic that goes there because it's either them or Rangers. It's easy. That's what everybody said about Postecoglou. So I'm keeping the same damn energy, right? That's what people say. And it's true, right?
But on his CV, he is a winner.
God,
is that you can't argue with that?
But he didn't win with us because they won the league and we're not going to win the league because that's not really feasible for us. So what he won with PSG isn't feasible for us to win. And over there, they always win it, barring one time when he didn't win it. They always win it. Always win it. So it's not exactly a competition not to win it. It's and he even managed to do that. So that just shows you he couldn't manage the big egos. He couldn't.
So you just think flat out he's not a winner?
I mean, I think that not flat out because, like you say, he has won. But has he got enough of that mentality that he's done it enough times? No, I just don't think he has. So that's my first logical answer for why I think he's not. My second logical answer would be that I think that people are forgetting, like I said, that things that he actually did that probably weren't that great. And I think that if you think about it logically, those things are probably things now that if you actually look at in hindsight weren't good. And if he still has that sort of mentality, then I think that isn't going to always work because I think that everyone expects it to be exactly the same. And things have changed a lot for the Premier League and our club. So I think that actually it's not going to work, because I think everybody's expectations are up here, and I think that it's going to be very, very difficult for him to meet those expectations the same
Do
way.
you know what? I mean, if I'm honest with you, by the way, I've just looked it up. I wasn't being rude. Pochettino's won 3 trophies.
What 3
PSG.
trophies has he won? Oh, well, the
I
cups.
can, I can tell you. So I'm going to butcher this. He won the League One Cup, which we know, the Coupe de France, and the Trophy des Champions, which is the French
trophy-
Super Cup.
The
apparently.
champions.
Given what you just said, I was going to say something that's bloody gone. Given what you just said about asset expectations, I no longer think fans' expectations are up here. I don't.
But he just said that he wants us to be. He thinks we should be changing for Premier Leagues and Champions.
What is wrong with that? What is that? Not what you want us to be, Mia?
Hold up, but then that's our expectations up high from when he gets there, and that's not where we're at right now.
Ange came out and said, "I'll win you a trophy," and
he done it.
Not? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, right? Okay, fine, but you can't tell me that couldn't happen under Poch.
I know, you're right. It could well happen under Poch. You're right. If he takes the cup seriously, he could win a cup. But I don't think he's going to win the Premier League or the Champions League.
I don't. You know, funny thing is, I don't think he'll take the Premier League as. I suppose he would actually. He would prioritise. I do think if he came back, look, we're not in Europe anyway, so it don't really matter. But I do think if he did come back, he would take the domestic cups a bit more serious. So I think, if I'm honest, that would at least appease a fan like yourself that thinks he doesn't take certain cups seriously. I just don't see a world, Mia, where Pochettino coming back doesn't unite and start pushing the club forward. I just don't see it. I take on board your opinions. I'm not going to argue with them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I personally don't see it. So I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree. But you're wrong. So yeah, that's
never tell a woman she's wrong.
I know.
I'm gonna speak to your missus and have a little word and tell her to like few backhanders.
I get what you're saying. I don't think. Go on.
If it's not Poch, is there anybody else that you would say that could
No.
come in? No.
If Poch doesn't come, I want no one. No one. Poch or just disband the club. We're done. Jesus, somebody else. I've not even given that any thought. That's how much I want Poch back.
Fair enough.
Wow, what a question. I really haven't given it any thought. A manager. Do you know what? What just anyone I would want to pick.
I mean, as
someone
available, I guess that's
anyone that's available. I can't think, but aside from Poch, there's only one other manager that I'd love at Tottenham, and believe it or not, it's Company.
I like
love
Company.
the way. Yes, God damn, would he get into them play? Have you seen some of those clips of him going off?
Yeah, he goes mental, man. I like he's got something about him. He has got something about him, and he's
winning mentality.
Yeah, that's right. He's definitely got that, and I do really like Company. To be fair, that's actually someone that I never really thought of, but yeah, I do like him for sure.
Unattainable, obviously.
Yeah. Like for me, there's going to be so many managers available to sort of pick from, and obviously people getting fired left, right, and centre. I don't know what's going on this season, but mate, this is nuts with how many people are getting sacked. Marinakis is doing a bit of a Tottenham, sacking everyone left, right, and centre. Yeah. Like sacked Daishi, as if like us recording. So yeah, definitely.
Oh, what did you just say?
Sacked Daishi. Sean Dyche got sacked.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man.
Is that the third manager this season?
Yes.
Wow, what planet is this guy on? Good Lord.
I know. As I just said, Marinakis is just doing a wild one, man.
Wow.
An absolute wild one. So
I don't even think we've done that before, have we? 3 managers in one season?
No, because we had Nuno and then we got someone straight up. We got straight after in it. So no.
I can't believe I did not know that. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That guy is crazy. Holy.
Yeah, he's a bit nuts. I'm going to say for definitely has got that Greek gene in him for sure. Like a bit nutty.
He's shish kebab 3 managers. That is insane. I had no idea. Wow.
He skewered them. craziness. But yes, so I think that for me, a Redknapp appointment with somebody else alongside him, because he can just what you need is someone that's going to coach the players, and he just comes around and goes, come on lads, you can do it lads, like, you know, the Harry way. And I think that will be good enough. So the next question is going to be, after that, is going to be, can we stay up?
Me, I can't answer your question, sweetheart. I've got no idea. I'm so this is what I think is going to happen. I don't trust our board to make the correct decisions, and I don't think any of us do, let's be honest. I think what we're going to do is stick with Johnny Heitinga for the rest of the season. I'm convinced, because that's the sort of decision our owners would go with, because it's cost effective, and I know sacking Frank has cost us a fortune. So bringing someone in would cost more money. So ergo, I don't expect us to actually bring someone in or make the correct.
Well, Harry said he'd do it for free. So
yes, he did. Yes, he did. But Harry's too big of a. I think they're looking for yes men. I don't think they want someone like Harry. I mean, we all know he'd be the right decision to the end of the season. Jesus Christ, if we were in charge, we wouldn't be where we are. I'm telling you. But look, we'd be broke, but you know, we wouldn't be where we are. Where are we going to get relegated? I've got to be real with you. I think we're going to stick with Heitinga, and I am 50-50 at this point. I don't know. I honestly cannot answer that question, and I've been asked it a few times now. I don't know. I don't know.
I think we will. I think that the change of personnel, I think having somebody else to tell them, maybe to inspire them, might actually be enough to get enough points on the board. I'm going to be honest. Sorry, I'm just keeping on the dogs. So I do think that they definitely, I think that's enough. I think that it is enough to stay up. I think that especially if other teams around us are taking points off each other, and, you know, things are going well, I think,
Your dogs are starting to lose it.
Yeah, they're trying. Joe, what they always do this when I'm on the computer. It's like little kids. Now they start to play up after a certain amount of time because you've been distracted from them. So now they're coming over to me and wanting me to like stroke them, or they're just playing. I can hear their little footsteps. They're like running around. So yeah, typical. Because obviously I've got 3 of them. So yeah.
So you're convinced? Well, I say you're convinced. You think we're going to stay up?
Yes. Yeah.
Where do you see that happening? Where do you see us getting points, mate?
I'm trying to think of the games that we've got coming up, but I do think that we will get a few wins in there.
Shall we have a quick look? Shall I have a quick look for us?
Yeah, go on then, have a quick look. But I think we were playing Forest, didn't we? So we could take points off of them. I think there is definitely somewhere in there we can get a couple. I think we can get enough points.
There has to be. There has to be somewhere.
Yeah, no, right. I do think that.
So our next games are as followed. A nice easy game against Arsenal next. That should be a piece of piss, guaranteed 3 points. After that, we've got Fulham, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Forest and Sunderland. They are the next.
Forest and Sunderland, I think we can get some points there. Maybe even if we do a couple of wins and a draw, I think that'll be enough.
The thing is, me and you are going to look at this like Spurs of old, and we're not Spurs of old. So you'd naturally say Fulham win, Crystal Palace win.
Yeah, but
we
I'm
expect
not.
to lose to Liverpool. Forest and Sunderland, you'd think would be wins. So
yeah, so I'm saying Sunderland and Forest wins, but I'm not saying Fulham or the others. But if we can get if we can get draws and maybe a couple of those as well, I think that actually that's not too bad. I think especially because Forest are near us, so that's taking points off of them if we get points. So I think it's feasible to do, in my honest opinion. I do think it's feasible.
It should be, but you know the thing Spurs should do. It hasn't quite worked out. Let's be honest.
This is very true.
I suppose the only thing I will say is I can't see us getting relegated. Like it just doesn't. It's not something I could ever see happening. But like I say, for me, I'm on the fence. I am bugger off dog. My dog's doing it. Yeah, for me, although what you got? Oh my God,
Nessa. This is Nessa.
Oh bless. What dog is that?
A Frenchie.
Oh, that's kind of look at the eyes. Like what is going on here? Bless.
Look, she's a crazy dog. She's honestly nuts. Get down then, silly girl. She's the one causing the trouble, basically.
God bless her. Yeah, look, like I said, I can't see us going down, but I am 50-50 on the fence as to whether we will or we won't. I can't see where we pick up points, is what I'm trying to say. So
fair enough. So I don't know if you've actually seen this. Have you seen the overlap? What Ange just said.
no, I haven't.
So
I
we'll
didn't want to say
discuss.
anything.
We'll discuss it. I'll tell you what the quotes are, and you can give your opinion.
Oh, great! Yes, please. Okay, wonderful. Go
right. So, he said, "This is the big one. Tottenham are not a big club. We signed Don Solanke and 3 teenagers. I was looking at Pedro Neto, Embuemo, Semenyo, and Guehi." So, your thoughts on that comment? He also
I'm not surprised.
He sort of prefaced it with that we don't pay wages. He said that the wages is an issue, and that's why Spurs aren't a big club, because we won't pay wages for certain players.
Right. Do you know what? I've said this a few times and I'm going to say it again. If you look at, right, bear with me. Let me explain this before people are like, oh my God, what a load of shite. If you look at Tottenham as a whole, we are an elite level club. Hear me out. Stadium, elite. Training facilities, elite. Financial infrastructure, elite. Our owners are the 9th richest owners on the planet, elite. Yeah, we won't pay wages to bring in top level players. Wages have been Tottenham Hotspur's one of their biggest problems since time's begun. What you just said there, I'm not even surprised at. And a lot of people would say, oh, you know, we don't know who managers try to bring in, this, that, and the other. We see enough rumours to get a rough gauge of what managers actually wanted, and then what Tottenham will present to these managers, which is why these teams that Tottenham create. They're not the managers' teams.
So what he actually was also saying was that we got 5th that year, and he wanted those players because he said, if you want to go up further, those are the type of players, Premier League ready players, that you need to get to push on. He said those 3 teenagers are great. They're really good players, and they're probably going to be very good for Tottenham, right? But he said that doesn't push you from 5th up the table, basically.
Nope.
And that's what he sort of was saying, was that doesn't push you on. When he got 5th, that was his aim, was to push on. So...
Oh, naturally, right? So could you just read those names out to me one more time, Mia, please?
Yeah, hold up a sec. So I've got to get the quote back up.
Sorry.
No, it's because I saved the quote. Pedro Neto, Embuemo, Semenyo, and Guehi.
Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine?
Yeah, obviously all of those have gone to bigger teams, and maybe they weren't gettable, if you like, because we did offer Semenyo apparently a big wages, and he still chose City because it's City and they've got more chance of winning. But that's what I was saying earlier about, if a player comes to a team because they're a team that wins regularly, that's a big draw for them. And
do you know what? I'm so sorry to interrupt you. So this would have been in his 2nd season, right?
No, the 5th.
Yeah, the second season.
The season he finished 5th, and then the 2nd season. Yeah,
right. So all of those players would have absolutely been completely attainable because there was no chase for them at the time.
I get that. Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. I'm not saying that for one moment. I'm just saying, but yeah, I do think that obviously that is definitely an issue at Spurs, and I do get that people. I kind of think it's a bit of a difficult one because we did offer him wages, but then he had the offer of Man City. We have to get in there before that happens and see if a player will come to us. But we have to have something to offer them, whatever we are saying to come to us, and a draw for them to come to us. There's your problem, because you have to have that draw, and that's not always a great thing for us.
Do you think the ownership have changed their mind too little too late? Because apparently we offered Semenyo more wages than anybody else.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Maybe, exactly that. So maybe, again, this change of heart that ENIC 2.0 have had has come too little too late. And the worst thing is now, the position we're in, you know, we've lost an ability, at least I believe, an ability to sign the players that we need. You know, I mean, could you imagine, right? Just think about it for a second, Mia. Where would we be if we signed all 5 of them players right now?
I mean, yeah, I think we would be up there.
We would. I really think we would. But could you imagine that? I mean, just hearing that fucking infuriates me.
I know, I get it.
Infuriates me.
So,
and I'm not surprised.
we'll move on obviously to the next comment, and let's keep in mind that he's now not at Tottenham, so he's got every reason to obviously say negative things regarding Tottenham in a way, because he's no longer at Spurs and he got sacked. So I do keep that obviously in mind, but those things are still true. I don't believe that's not true. So the next thing he said was, Spursy is a thing. That was the thing I was trying to break. My whole statement about winning things in the second year, I was doing that for the club. No one internally would dare say that because they were scared. He also was saying that the club are they've got to dare is to do everywhere, yet they don't dare to do. And that's obviously what he was trying to say. And I do think, again, maybe he's got his own motives for saying these things, but I do think that is true. And he did put it out there and say, I do win, because I ultimately believe that Ange Postecoglou was trying to break that Spursy tag, because he knew how important it was for us to get a trophy over the line. And he also said that he knew he was going to get sacked. And if he didn't win in the Europa League, whatever stage, he would have got sacked. And he said from about January, I think he said February time, he knew that was the case, but he carried on anyway because he wanted to win us a trophy. So what's your thoughts on that?
Do you know what? That for me closely relates to somebody like an Antonio Conte when he had his outburst, where people would say, oh, he was just trying to get fired. You know what Antonio Conte did? He did nothing but tell the truth. And by the sounds of it, so's Postecoglou. I do not why would these people lie about it? I just think, and it's weird because I feel like some Spurs fans don't want to hear it. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I agree.
Like people say, oh no, he's just saying that because he's angry, and Conte only said it because he wanted to get fired. I don't believe any of that. I think these managers are telling the truth. And the worst thing is, you can see it without having tangible proof. We already know this as fans. We live, love, and life Tottenham. This is what we die by, and we can see this sort of stuff. But obviously, we have no proof. But those comments, I can completely believe it. It sounds like Tottenham.
He also said that Daniel Levy never really spoke to him much. He said he never really had contact with Daniel. However, he said when he got to the final, he had breakfast with him, and Daniel turned around and said to him, I've been in 7 finals and never won any of them. We've never won, I've never won any of them. And Postecoglou laughed and was like, well, that was a bit of like a, do you know what I mean, confidence builder, like to say we've never won any of them. But that's what Postecoglou was desperately trying to break. And I think actually you could really see that in Postecoglou. And I don't care what people say. People call him a clown. They call him all these names, which I don't like, because I think it's really derogatory towards somebody who won us a trophy. And I don't understand why anybody would be like that about a manager who actually won us something. But what he's come out and said was he really, really wanted to try and break that Spursy thing for us as a team. And I think that means a lot. I think that actually does mean a lot to me when I listen to him. I think, like he got it. He didn't want us to have that Spursy tag because none of us want us to have that Spursy tag.
Me, can I tell you something, right? And a lot of fans disagree with me when I say this. There's one thing above all else that I really loved about Postecoglou. And a lot of people said, it's nonsense. You shouldn't be like that. The difference between Postecoglou and nearly every other manager we've had is this. Postecoglou was a why not sort of a guy. I didn't hear, nope, we're not in the race. Nope, we're not going to win that. Nope, we're not going to do that. It's game by game. Postecoglou had the balls to come out and say, well, yeah, why not? And people say, it was stupid. The guy's an idiot. Excuse my French. Fuck you. He went and did exactly what he said he was going to do. Why can't we adopt that mentality? And that's what's wrong with Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah,
because we refuse to adopt a winning mentality.
And that's why we'll always,
from the fans, the board, yeah.
And that's why we'll always be Spursy, right?
Bingo. It's the whole club.
He was trying to change that. He really was. I do believe he was genuinely trying to stop that. I really do, from what he said. So that will be our last bit of the conversation, but please let everybody know. I'm sure they're already subscribed to you, but you and Dan, but please let everybody know where they can find you. I will be putting the link in the description and also in the title, so you can just click on it and make sure you subscribe to these guys, because they are really, really good. I really enjoy their shows. They're very good. They're good fun. They're really good fun.
We try. It's a shame we're ending, actually. I was quite enjoying this, to be honest. I probably could have gone for another hour. Yeah, you can find us at the Hotspur Hood. Dan and myself. I know we're not scheduled at the moment, but I think the next couple of days we'll be doing a show. So yeah, by all means, come on by and check us out. And I just wanted to say, Mia, thank you very, very much for having me on. This was a blast, and like I said, I could have kept going. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it has been fun. The time flies by, when you're having fun chatting about
it. Tottenham. It does. And may I just say, guys, make sure you subscribe to Mia and get those likes in, because it really does help all YouTubers, you know. And Mia puts in a lot of effort to these videos. So if you can like and subscribe, we'd appreciate it.
It would be appreciated, yeah. Like I say, I often frequent at the Hotspur Hood myself, and I like, because with Dan and Benji, they allow everybody to have difference of opinions. Like, they don't censor anyone. They don't tell, like, they let everybody have their say, which I really do appreciate, because not everybody does that. And I think it's actually a really good way that you guys do it over there. The way you just let everybody have their say, even if you disagree, you hear them out and then you'll counter them. So I really do like that about you guys. I think it's a really good way to approach things, and also letting all different types of people come on that have difference of opinions as well. So I do like that.
Everyone's got a voice. Everybody's got a voice.
It's not an echo chamber, which I think a lot of Spurs content can be echo chambers. Hence why I'm trying to get people on that are a bit different of opinion to me, because I think it's important to have that and not make it just an echo chamber.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the best way to do it. At the end of the day, that's really what these shows are about, opinions.
Yeah, that's it. So, it's just opinion. Even if I'm right and Benji's wrong, it's just an opinion.
And we all know Mia's wrong about Pochettino, so that's that, really, and I won't hear anything else. But yeah, okay.
No, he's not coming back again, guys. Don't worry. I'm not getting him back on. Well, thank you for coming again. I really do appreciate your time, Benji.
Anytime.
Thank you to everybody who's been watching. Please make sure you take very good care of yourselves, and we'll speak again real soon.